Hello and welcome to Prime Investor, where we research and you profit. This is the 11th episode of Prime Q&A, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about rising interest rates. My name is Gaurav Menon, and today we have with us Aarati Krishnan. Hello, Aarati ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, so the first question is, are interest rates really rising? I don't feel that looking at my bank deposits.
I've just written a long article on this for Prime Investor. Yes, for most ordinary people, they don't feel as if that interest rates are rising because the bank deposit rates are remaining stuck at 5.5%. But actually, if you look at market interest rates in India, they've gone up quite a lot in the last 1 year. If you look at the 10-year government security, for example, which is the benchmark for the entire bond market, the yield on that or the interest rate on that has gone up from 6.08 to 7.15%. Similarly, yields on corporate bonds also have gone up by about 60 to 70 basis points in the last 1 year. The reason why most people don't feel rates are rising is because RBI and MPC, the Monetary Policy Committee, they've so far been holding rates at very low levels, in fact, record low levels that have not been seen in the last 2 or more decades. They have been holding the policy rates. But in the latest MPC meeting on April 8, they clearly signal that hereafter, because inflation is rising, they would like to prioritize inflation control over growth, and therefore they will be hiking rates. They also effected a 40 basis point backdoor rate hike in this policy. So now people are expecting that in the next 1 year, even RBI and MPC will be hiking rates from by 75 to 100 basis points.
Thank you, Aarati ma'am. Now, the second question is, where can I invest to get the best rate now?
Yeah, that's a $1 million question. It's quite difficult to answer. So what we think at Prime Investor is that when sovereign bonds issued by the government are offering very good rates, investors should use their limited money to make the most of that opportunity. So over the next 6 months or 1 year, we think that the government bond auctions, both of central government and state governments, SDLs, in the RBI platform will offer rates of 7.5% to 8%, and people should lock into them for the long term. But apart from that, I also think everybody should have a component in their portfolio which is liquid. So you don't want to lock in all your money into bonds that mature 10 years, 20 years later, because government bonds also have liquidity problems. So you should have some portion of your portfolio also in mutual funds. We would recommend that people stick to short duration funds, ultra short duration funds, or SDL kind of funds where you will have liquidity along with the ability to participate in rising rates. We should also take a serious look at floating rate debt funds.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, the third question is, what will happen to the post office schemes and the RBI bonds?
Right, that's a good question because these are supposed to be linked to market interest rates. Now, in the last 2 years or so, if you see, the central government really has not reduced the rates on small savings schemes too much, though the market interest rates had fallen a lot and bank deposit rates were so low. They had not really cut the interest rates on small savings schemes. So though if you go by the textbook, small savings schemes have to offer higher rates now going forward, we are not sure if the government will really revise them quickly. This is because small savings actually are borrowings by the government of India, and the government would like to keep its borrowing cost reasonable. So though these rates may go up over the next 6 months or 1 year, we don't expect immediate hikes in these small savings rates. RBI bonds are also linked to the national savings certificate rate. So they too may remain somewhat stable for the immediate future and may see hikes over a 6 months to 1 year time.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, the final question is, how far can rates rise?
Yeah, that's a $1 million question, right? So it's like asking where will the Sensex go? And people will give targets like 1 lakh, 2 lakh and all. So calling interest rates is equally difficult. But if you see the previous rate cycles in India, actually, interest rates, that is the 10-year bond yield that I was talking about before, that has gone to 8.5 or 9% in the previous cycles. But those were in a very growing economy. So today, Indian economy is not growing at a very fast rate. Even RBI thinks that it will grow only at 7.8% next year. So because growth is a challenge, the policymakers would not like the rates to go too high. So we think that if nothing very drastic happens on the global front, rates will sort of top out at 7.5 to 8% on the 10-year bond.
Thank you, ma'am. So that's all for today, folks. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments and we'll get back to you. Bye for now and see you next time.